Hello, welcome to another video of the building tools. This video we're gonna make the digital asset from our building or setup that we have now. So if you followed along with the first video, you will have something like this where we can make a basic building. And for the future of the next videos, we are already want to test it out as soon as possible in the game engine to see if everything works, and then from there start to improve more and more and more. So what I'm going to do now is make a digital asset. This video will be quite short and compact. So I'm just going to here grab most of my tool except from the box because I want to still input data from other places. Then I usually just use a subnetwork here, lower shift C. Then it will be collapsed into one single node, as you can see, and we can right click, make digital asset or make a version digital asset, which is more useful for production. So we're just going to do make digital assets. I'm going to call this like tutorial building generator and press apply. So now we have our menu open. We then here have our parameters where we can start to pick values from our system and like have an interface. So currently my custom interface is just blank because I have no parameters added. So here, when I grab the building tool, when I go in there, you should see that our system, of course, is still intact. So now we have our input directly here into our tool. So I'm not going to build a whole bunch of values here yet. I will, over time in the next videos, I will add more and more stuff here. But for this video, what I'm mainly interested in is just here. I want to grab here this whole block of adding styles. So we're just going to drag it over here and we just have that there and we're going to press apply. In future videos, I will talk a bit more about why this is actually this block, what is this actually doing. But for now, we're just going to press accept. And here we can now fill in our own patterns. So I only had like, for example, generic or floor 2. So let's, for example, grab floor 2 and we can place that over here. And then we have these building shapes. So this tool, of course, already you could use this inside of Houdini. You can use it like so. Like you can build your own pre-made building tool with like some built-in models. I can do all kinds of things with this, of course. So at this stage, you can, of course, test out the tool a bit if you want to play around with it and see how well it works. We can, of course, make another cube, merge these together, and we can then have multiple buildings. So here, let's make another building. And what you might notice at this point is they are not necessarily like nicely clean replacing the buildings. They are just intersecting with each other. So the reason for that is the building tool is not seeing them as one object. And a quick way of doing that is just using a Boolean shape. So there are situations where you just want to just leave it like that. But sometimes, of course, you might want to here do like a Boolean operation and set a union. And now we should see our buildings being together. So it's now one single object. Important as well is to use the output node as well. So here output, this is my output. And we can play around with this. I can make this a bit smaller like so, or we can of course make this larger. So we can actually make a real building out of this. And it's still following that pattern. As you can see, like it's placing that smaller window here in the middle here as well. It's always like keep track of that along the building. So it's definitely just keep following that pattern over and over and over. And that's almost it already for this video. So it's mainly important to have a digital assets. There are of course more values we can try to start to, like, for example, here we can expose this as well to this interface. So we can actually define and play around a bit more with the floor data. But you will see in future videos I will do it in a quite different way. But for now, we just basically have this tool. Now, one more thing is maybe just quickly showing off sort of like the power and the speed of this tool is let's just grab a grid here on the side. And we're just going to scale this by 100 units. And we're going to just scatter points. So scattering a line. Then we're going to play around here with our uniform scale and also probably with our max scaling a bit. So we have like a few points like so. Then we're going to copy a box on the points. So box and a copy to points. So now we have a couple boxes. Maybe let's make the box into a more building shape. So let's stretch it a bit like so. We can maybe make it a bit thicker. We want to match this on the grid as well. So match size, set the Y to min, and now it's like it's staying on the grid. So we have like a shape like this. So we have like a rough, quick building area, and then we just plug it in over here. And you'll see a few seconds later, it actually places all of these into buildings. So we are now placing all of our models directly here on the quick, rough building shapes. So if I just play around here with the seed, you can see that we are now in real time very quickly calculating new building results. So you can definitely see that this tool is quite fast and is an improvement to what we had earlier. So we're just placing all of these building modules very quickly. So of course I'm using like a quite basic pattern, which is not that interesting, but as you build more interesting patterns, of course you will make cooler results. So that was it for this video. So we mainly made in the GA, and I showed you a couple here, and I showed you a couple other interesting things here and there. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.